I'm doing supper here. I wanted you to see that we actually eat something. Sorry, this dishwasher's got kind of a mind of its own and drives me crazy. Anyway, I wanted you to see that we eat something here other than sourdough bread, because that's what my focus has been lately. We were gifted this really nice prime rib roast. It's not very big, so I'm actually got chickens in the oven. See, it's kind of thin, but it's all meat. It's going to be great. What I'm using, because our power just went off and I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible before it goes off again, I'm using my Pampered Chef air fryer, and I'm going to put a link for that in the description. The year I got the Pampered Chef air fryer, that Christmas, I got it in November, and on New Year's I was baking and dropped my stoneware, which was also Pampered Chef. My stoneware survived, but the inside glass on my oven door did not. It shattered in a million pieces, and I was so ticked off that it took me 3 months before I even tried to order a new glass. And I'm sorry, I'm having a glass of wine. So it saved my butt. We have a large family. Like, we have 9 kids. They're not all living at home at the moment. But we, at any given time, I mean, the least we have is 5 or 6 people here living in the house. And so anyway, that's what I used for an oven for 3 months because I was so upset. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with this roast tonight. I'm going to use the air fryer. Our air fryer has a rotisserie setting. It has a basket also that turns. It has 2 mesh trays and a solid tray on the bottom. And so that's why I wanted, actually that's how I became a Pampered Chef consultant, to be honest, is I really wanted that air fryer. My parents had a small basket air fryer. They probably work great, and I'm not dissing them, but for our size of family, it wasn't going to happen. So I really wanted the air fryer, and it was part of the enrollment kit. And I really thought, I'm really not into business. I'm not into sales. My husband is. He would sell anything to anybody. Like, he loves it. He thrives on it. He gets energized by it, where I get so stressed. But I thought if there was ever anything I could sell, it would be Pampered Chef, because for one, I have tons even before I became a consultant. Love Pampered Chef, have always loved Pampered Chef, love the stoneware. I have a stoneware pizza pan that I'm sure is at least 20 years old, still working great. But I wanted the air fryer, and I thought, well, it was part of the higher end enrollment kit, along with a lot of other stuff in the kit. And so, that's why I signed up, because it was basically the price of the air fryer to become a consultant and get the air fryer and get all the other things. So that's why I signed up. That's how I ended up with my air fryer. You can see it there, the door's open. Just getting ready to put this in. So that's what I'm going to use tonight with prime rib, because prime rib, I can tell you, is not something I'm used to cooking. I've done it in the oven once or twice maybe, and I need the oven because I'm doing chickens as well, because the roast isn't that big, and I want to have leftover chicken, and I make bone broth off the bones and stuff. So I thought, well, I'll cook them both, see what we eat. So my oven is taken up, so now I'm going to use my air fryer for the prime rib. So I'm just going to take you through this. I'm going to turn the camera down because my kitchen is not big enough for me to be able to be in picture and show you the food. So, and I also have to move some things because there's always things on my counter. So I'm going to show you. Hang on. Now, I'm not doing anything fancy. So, and this doesn't have to be prime rib, and I'm really not familiar with cuts of meat and what should and shouldn't be done. So I'm just winging it. I partly want to show you, like, you can cook your own roast. You don't have to buy it cooked or go to a restaurant or whatever. Obviously the rules are going to be a little different as far as times and tenderness and how much you want it done. But this is what we're doing tonight. So I'm going to drain the juice off this plate because it was frozen. And honestly, if I had my act together, I would have done this earlier in the day. I would have let it sit for a few hours with the seasonings. But basically, yeah, I don't have my act together, basically. I'm just putting some kosher salt, some coarse salt. You could use whatever you have. Patting it on. Turn it over, do the same on the other side. Don't want a lot, but I do want some. And I'm learning, I'm using one hand to rub and one hand to dig into the jar to get more, so I'm not contaminating anything. So this looks like it has 2 ribs. So I think that's maybe how you go by how would have made great steaks for Glenn and I, but it's never just Glenn and I here. Okay, putting that on, washing my hands. And then I'm just gonna throw some dried seasonings. I mean, I do have fresh herbs growing out there, but it is pouring rain and storming and I'm not that committed. So I got cracked pepper here I'm going to grind. You know, there's always basics, right? Salt, pepper, and garlic. If you don't have anything else, you can at least use salt, pepper, and garlic. So I'm just going to turn it over, do the other side, and then both edges. So yeah, you don't have to, I mean, like fresh herbs would be great. I have fresh rosemary out there. I would love rosemary on this. I have dried that some of it we grew last year. Some of it my son-in-law gave me that he actually had smoked in the smoker. So I'm going to put some of it on. I love rosemary. It's an herb that I had never used much of before. And now that I've started, oh my gosh, I'm addicted. So yeah, just gonna coat it a little bit. Sop up the extra because I don't like wasting. So yeah, I have smoked rosemary here. Trying to put the focus on the meat. Got a new camera, playing with the settings. You just want to crush this up a bit. It's quite stiff, even when it's fresh. But the flavor is amazing. So I'm just going to crush it up, press it on. The other side. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Oh, I love rosemary. And a part of why I love it the most is because it actually grows for me. I'm a novice gardener, I'm a rookie. Nowhere near an expert. But I'm loving having fresh herbs. I will link my video for my vertical planter. That's what I'm doing this year, and you'll see why when you watch the video. I couldn't grow a garden this year because we're not sure where we're going to be. But I did get a vertical planter because they are portable and mobile, and if our house sells, I can bring it with me. And I'm not committed enough to do all that work for somebody else, I'm sorry. Alright, garlic powder and onion powder. So those are kind of my basic go-tos. You can't go wrong with those. It may not be extravagant, but it also is going to give you lots of flavor. And then I'm just going to put it in the air fryer on rotisserie. And I'm going to do it for about, I think an hour. I like it medium, but more medium well. So I'm now going to bring this over to the rotisserie. I'm going to let you watch me put it on, and then I'll show you when it's done. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. This is not always, I'm going to turn the light on. Actually, I'll plug it in. Sometimes I have trouble with this. And hopefully it'll go okay. Have the light on. So I'm just taking this. When you're using our air fryer, you put the left-hand side in first. You can kind of feel when it goes into the... All right, let's see. Should I get put? There's no evidence. All right, so we're going on rotisserie for an hour, and so it automatically turns. You can adjust this. So presets, the temperature's already set. You can adjust the time. If you want to change it, you can go custom, and you can control then both the time and the temperature. I don't know if you can see that. And I think videos do weird things with this blue light. Why is it not focusing? There we go. All right. So this is supper in the oven. We'll see how it goes. So I just want to tell you a few things about the air fryer first. I forget what they were. For one, you have to have it pulled out from the wall. You want it at least 6 inches out from the wall because there's a lot of heat behind. So you don't want it pressed up against the wall. You don't leave it plugged in. When you're done with it, you unplug it. That's for safety reasons, I guess. So if there's a power surge or whatever, it's not going to burn out your air fryer, because that would be really bad. What else? There was something else. I do have a temperature probe I'm going to use when it gets this hour's up. Oh, I was using it for my bread. So we're just going, it has a light, so you can watch it while it's cooking. And it's not turning, so that means I didn't have it in right. I think it's not too hot. Okay, you want to make sure and get that in proper. There we go. Good thing I checked. And we're cooking. It's turning. It's quite controlled. It's cooks evenly, and we got 58 minutes left. I love the air fryer, especially for reheating, like things like pizza, even burgers and stuff. But pizza comes out just like when it was fresh cooked. We've made what are they called? Not mojitos. No, not nachos. Antijitos. They did really well in it. And again, they're the best way to heat it up because it doesn't come out soggy. So I love the air fryer. It's limited. Everything is limited in the uses. I've probably got just about every kitchen appliance you could have. And they are all good for some things, and I haven't found one thing yet that is good for everything. So I'm not going to make claims that aren't true. I have my Instant Pot. I love my Instant Pot. I use it a lot. Actually, I have Pampered Chef Quick Cooker, which is my version of an Instant Pot. And I love it. And I love it for certain things. There's things I don't like using it with. So that's not a fault of the appliance. Every appliance has its own purpose. And when you try to take it beyond that, and again, your taste might be different than mine, but it's not the appliance. It's our taste, our preference. So I'm just gonna let this cook. I've got chickens in the oven. I'm probably not gonna come back and do a video. We'll see. but I will post pictures. I will attach pictures to this video. Supper can be really quick. Don't be intimidated by cooking for your family. Don't make it complicated. Use what you have, make the most of it. Do it as cheaply as you can. This was given to us. I don't go prime rib. For the most part, we eat wild meat because I have issues with I can't afford to go buy meat from a farmer usually. I do try when I can. A lot of our burger, we get it from a farmer because I don't like what is done to the animals. I don't like what's done to the food after to sell it. And so I try to keep things as close to natural state as possible. Not a lot of hands in between messing with it. But I don't always do it. I'm telling you, those chickens I got were on sale. They were on sale. I feel bad in many ways, but I have a lot of people to feed and I can't afford to pay 3 times as much for free range, which is why I'm hoping to start raising our own. There's an industry I don't like to support, and yet I catch myself having to support it more than I'd like. But it's steps. It's small steps. And if you're just learning to cook for your family, if you're just getting away from processed foods and boxed foods and whatever, then start there. Start with the sales, make something out of it. When I make chicken, we don't just sit and eat roast chicken. I use that chicken in casseroles. I make bone broth from the bones. I use all of it. So I try to appease my conscience and be as responsible as I can be right now and still feed my family wholesomely. Anyway, this is a real treat tonight.